missed the microphone. The microphone wasn't picking up, so it was giving no sound. So I'm not going to start the video over with. We'll just pick it up from here. Okay? Anybody need more time on number solving for R? Okay? So we can distribute there. We can do these a couple of different ways. We'll still get the same answer and I'll show you this a couple of different ways. So I can multiply in that 8, and so then that would give me 3p minus 4t plus 6c equals 8p minus 8r. And then I can subtract 8p from both sides. And that would give me negative 5p minus 4t plus 6c equals negative 8r. Then, if I'm going to divide here by negative 8, I can do one of two things. I can divide this entire side by negative 8, and I could write this as negative 5p minus 4t plus 6c all over negative 8 equaling r. Or I could say, well, I don't like that negative sign hanging there on the bottom, and so I could make that negative sign be positive there, which would change that one to a positive, that one to a positive, and that one to a negative. I could distribute the negative 1 up top. And so then this would be also 5p plus 4t minus 6c all over 8. That would be an acceptable answer. We could also write this one as 5p over 8 plus 1 or plus t over 2 minus 3c over 4. If I divided each individual term by 8. If we do it that last way, those fractions have to reduce. I would not accept 5p over 8 plus 4t over 8 minus 6c over 8. I would not accept that because your fractions are. But you can also just leave it one of those other two. That's not a you, it's, I want to say, that's not a you have to put it in one specific way type of a problem. That responsibility falls on my shoulders to figure out if what you give me as an answer is the same as what the answer I have. Okay? All right? Just so you know. All right, so word problems. Everybody loves them. Okay? We all love word problems. I was just telling my first class this morning, because they were doing a word problem too, that the biggest spot for a mistake in a word problem is in step number 1. People don't read the problem. You should actually read the problem first. Before you even do anything, you should read the entire problem. Because by reading the problem, it tells you what you are going to need to find. Okay? And that which you are going to find is probably going to be your variable. Okay? So then, when you go back and you reread the problem in step number 2, you have to make an equation. If one is not given for you. Sometimes it'll say, use the formula, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So then you just have to use that formula. Okay? But if you don't, you have to make your own equation. Then you've got to solve it. Then you've got to ask, does this answer make sense? Okay? on your final, there will be a word problem. I'm telling you this because I've already seen your final. I know what your final looks like. There is a word problem that has been on there for off and on for the past couple of years. And it's been a couple of different iterations, a couple of different versions of it. But it's been basically the same problem. And that word problem is something of the like of 600 people attend an event. Okay? In that problem, okay, and it's like, let's say it's males and females. Okay? In that problem, I have gotten answers where if there's 600 total people at this event, I have gotten answers of there are 953 males and 718 females. Does that answer make sense? If there's only 600 total people at this event, there can't be more than 600 as an answer. Okay? All right? I've also gotten negative people have been, negative males have been at this event. How do you get a negative male attending an event? Okay. Questions like that. Simple, easy questions that all of you should, at the end of the problem, say, oh yeah, that doesn't make any sense. If there's only 600 people there, how can there be 900 males? Okay. Now, you will be using some formulas throughout the course of this course. Okay? First thing that you should do is you should write down the formula again. Okay? Even if it's written for you in the problem, write it down again. And then put your values in. Okay? Now, I get it. I'm sure that you'll say, yeah, you know what? You do it your way. I'm giving you ways that have been proven successful in the past. Okay? Okay? So, and then go through and solve them. Don't try and do too much in between your ears. Okay? It happens to the best of us. We get confused because we're trying to do 18 different things at once in a problem. Write it up. The more work you show, the better it is for you, the easier it is for you. Okay? So just so you know, we are a show work kind of a class. Okay? Oops, come on. There we go. Okay? So we'll start with a simple formula. Okay? So the formula is distance equals rate times time. Okay? D equals RT. So the first thing that you should do is, especially in this problem when it says find the missing variable, so we're solving for R, you should write down D equals RT, especially in your notes. Because in your notes, you don't have the whole problem. You don't know what the whole context is. You probably need to take time to write down the whole thing. Here, very little to write down. Okay? So we're going to start with distance equals rate times time. So we'll start with our formula. D is 300. I don't know what R is, so it's going to stay R. T is 4. So now we've got it written down. We've substituted in our values. Now we can simplify and solve our equation for our missing variable. Okay? Very easy to do in this one. Divide both sides by 4. What's that, 75? Now, the kicker is, with word problems, listen to this before you leave. The kicker with word problems is, in every word problem, your answer needs to have a label. With every word problem, your answer needs to have a label. Okay? What would the label be in this problem? Miles per hour, because we did 300 was miles 4 was hours, so this would be either we could write it as this, or we could go like this, because it's common miles per hour, one of those two. But your answer needs to have a label. Just telling me 75 there doesn't do me any good. Matt Kenseth, who is my wife's all-time favorite NASCAR driver since he is from Wisconsin, and I just left it in there, I change the numbers every year or so, raced 600 miles at Charlotte, North Carolina. He raced 600 miles in 3.5 hours. Okay? You find A is average speed. Might need a calculator for this. So distance is going to equal rate times time. The distance that he drove was 600 miles. The rate we don't know. The time was 3.5 hours. So if we divide both sides by 3.5, I get 171.4285714. Okay? So now my question to you is, we have to use a little bit of logic here. If this were people, let's go back to the people problem. Okay? If this were people, could we have 171.4 people? No, we weren't. Can't have 0.4 of a person. Okay? Or if we were making televisions, okay? We couldn't have 171.4 televisions, right? So then we would have to either round up to 172 or round down to 171. We would have to determine which one of those would be the best to do. Okay? In this particular case, can we have a decimal? Yeah. Okay. So if we can have a decimal, typically we'll round to 3 decimal places. But that's that logic. Does my answer make sense? Okay? If this were people, that answer wouldn't make sense. Because we're dealing with miles per hour, that answer makes sense. Okay? Ooh, I like this one. Go for it. Try this one. Okay? So what's the picture going to look like? You're literally passing notes right now. What's the picture going to look like? You're going to have a wall. So what shape do you want your wall to be? Probably a rectangle. Okay, so we're going to start with a big old rectangle. Okay, I like that. Then inside of that rectangle, what are we going to put? How many? There's 3 pictures, right? Okay, because it says you're hanging pictures on a wall in your home that is 16 feet wide. So you know that this dimension here, from here all the way over to here is 16 feet. The widths of the three pictures are 2, 3, and 4 feet. Does it matter what order they go in? We want the space between the pictures to be the same, and for the spaces to the left and the right of the group of pictures to be 6 inches more than the space between the adjacent pictures. So what do we want to call this distance in here? That's the space between. What do we want to call it? Do we know how much it is? So what do we want to call it? S? X? Any letter? Okay? I'm going to go with X just because S looks too much like a 5 for me. Okay? Alright. What do we want to call? I did purple, I did green, I didn't do orange, I did on there. So let's go blue. What do we want to call this distance here and this distance here? What do we want to call that? No? Outside. So what do we want to call it? Do you want to call it outside? Call it O. Call it O? Okay, so for every variable that you bring into a problem, you got to come up with an equation for it. So if you bring two variables, it would be our second variable. If we bring in two variables, then we've got to have two equations. We can only use one equation. X plus 6 for the blue? Do we agree with X plus 6 for the blue? You're shaking your head no. Why not? It's 6 inches. What's every other dimension? Is in feet, right? Okay? So instead of X plus 6, because that would be 6 feet then, X plus 0.5 there. Okay? Okay? Now, can we come up with an equation? What is it? What would our equation be? Gotta come up with an equation to solve this problem. And in work time, so we get this one done. And then all around 16. 16. You want to start with that?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. What do you got? Plus 9, you said? Okay. So let me color code this then. So where did you get the 2 times x plus 0.5 from? What color? That's the blue part. Where did you get the 2x from? That's the red parts. Where did you get the 9 from? That's the purple parts. Okay? Now, if you wrote all those out, that would be fine too. x plus 0.5 plus 3 plus x plus 4 plus x plus 2 plus x point plus, easy for me to say, plus x plus 0.5 equals 16. Because your whole wall is going to be covered with some distance. And that distance is 16. Okay? Solve that now for me. So let me go back to the problem. What is the question asking? How to position the pictures, right? Okay. So would the answer of 1.5 or 3/2 be an answer to the question, how do you position the pictures? No? Okay. So how do we answer the question, how do you position the pictures? So 2 feet on the outside. Just giving me an answer there, this is again in the reading phase, just giving me an answer there of 1.5 doesn't help. Okay? Because the question was, how do you position the pictures? So you're going to go back and you got to think about how you position those pictures. Okay? So you've got the week 3 homework, which is the purple. Is that purple? Yep. Yeah, purple. Okay. So you've got that week 3 homework, which is purple. That is also your review for all of Unit 1. Tomorrow in class, we're going to do a review, figure out which concept you learned for the test. And then Friday, we're taking a test. Week 2 and week 3's homework is due on Friday. Okay. You're not following the calendar. Don't follow the calendar with a little slide in the blue. Remember what you were probably had your head down, but whenever I go and talk about our calendar, I always go over here and point. This is us. That's another class that should be. This is us under us.